Hello and welcome to Sports Tonight. I'm Cecilia Mogbe in Lagos.
It's always a delight to have you join us to talk sports in London. I'm Austin Okonakwa. Cecilia, it's a loaded show tonight.
Obviously.
And the ladies are leading the way. Was super excited about Tobi Amusan and the record she made at the Diamond League. And for women's cricket, Nigeria started their journey towards qualifying for the World Cup with a victory over Sierra Leone right there in Botswana. It's your show, Cecilia.
It's a great way to start, especially talking about the women. Also, we'll be talking about the Paralympians, the last batch returning today. And of course, you know, the last two won the last medals on the final day. Actually had to be women also. And then we'll talk tennis and also talk about Nigerian Basketball League that is currently going on. It's day 2 of the Nigerian Basketball League. We'll also talk about that. But first of all, Austin, you mentioned, you talked about her, Tobi Amusan. But before we get into the program proper, I have someone right here in Lagos studio, Bolu Omoni. It's great to have you.
Yeah, good to be here again. Interestingly, well, I think I got the right day to come in where Tobi Amusan did well. I think Diamond League started about 10, 11 years ago. And no Nigerian.
2010.
And well, there's a certain Tobi Amusan who is making us proud. It shows progression from the Olympic Games to the Diamond League. So, well, I think the best is yet to come.
Best is yet to come. So now let's talk about the girl of the moment right now. She's 24 years old, Austin, and she's making her debut at the Diamond League. And what a way to do it. Now, he mentioned that since Diamond League started in 2010, no Nigerian has ever won that. Now, Falila Togunkoya, she was the first Nigerian pre-Diamond League era to actually win that Golden League. She was crowned IWF, you know, champion at that time when she ran 49.73 seconds, you know, to win the 400 meters. That was a Grand Prix final in Moscow. That was far back in 1988. Now, Tobi Amusan, today, she ran set an African record, yes, set an African record in this race. She ran 12.42 seconds. That's an African record to go home with the trophy. Not just the trophy, $30,000 is also included, and also a wild card for the World Athletics Championships that are taking place next year in Oregon. So this is a huge one for Tobi Amusan. And also, you know, this is a golden girl. She was joining lane 3, and of course, it was a very tough one. But then you didn't have Jasmine Camacho, a queen of Puerto Rico. She wasn't there. The world record holder, Kendra Harrison, wasn't of the USA. And of course, Danielle Williams, who won the last time, she was injured. So she was poised for this because on that particular lane, she was the fastest when it started.
And that was the only error that she had in that final race at the Olympics, that slow start. Yes. And by the time she tried to catch up, it was too late, you know, to catch up with those guys that went on to win. But what a story. You mentioned everything that she has done with this victory. And let me mention that she has also shattered Gloria Alozier's African record.
Yes.
Cecilia, Tobi cried after finishing 4th at the Olympics. In fact, my eyes got soaked for her because I was rooting for her. I thought it was a year. Remember, I spoke to her at the Rio 2016 Olympics.
Yes.
It was actually she and Ese Brume, and they told me, look out for us at the Tokyo Olympics. Ese Brume was on the podium, and then Tobi was so close. This is some level of redemption for her. I'm sure she's smiling now, and hopefully Tobi will speak to us on this show tomorrow because I've been trying to get her to talk after the Olympics, you know, setback, but she's been saying, look, Austin, I'm not in that right frame. She has been busy. She wants this Diamond League, and I'm super excited that it has come for her. She's a champ through and through. I believe there's still so much more that Tobi can give. Congratulations to her. Congratulations to Nigeria. I always like ending with let's do more.
Let's do more. That's what it's all about. It's all about Tobi we're talking about this evening on the program. But then we don't want to make it a Tobi show because there's so much to talk about on the program. But then we'll keep celebrating her because what she's achieved, as I mentioned earlier, no Nigerian has done that. And the 100 meters hurdle, we know how difficult this can be. Falila Togunkoya did it in the pre-Diamond League, you know, era when she won that particular award, becoming the 4th best in the world at that time after she's won it. That was like 1988 or thereabout. But since then, you have Tobi Amusan. Yes, Blessing Okagbare came so close, but then it just wasn't to be. Now you have Tobi Amusan winning it. So we expect something big and better in the US at the World Athletics Championship next year. Already, she got a wild card, so she doesn't need any qualification standard alone. And of course, going home with 30,000 quid. That's a big one.
Beautiful.
So
Beautiful.
let's quickly talk about the return of the last batch of the Paralympians. I mean, they are back in the country, and the special assistant on sport to the president, Muhammadu Buhari, talking about Daniel Amakachi. He was right there to receive these athletes. The track and field athletes, they were the last one to actually come because they competed until the final day. I mean, the dance style, what she did on the final day, especially the record she set, defending her title she won in Rio, the javelin, and also being able to win a gold medal. So that's why she's really the happiest person right now. And of course, another bronze medal also came for Nigeria on that final day. And they are home right now, you know, just happy with the reception they got from both people from the presidency, the sports ministry, and also the supporters club. And some Nigerians were right there at the airport just, you know, receiving these athletes.
I think they listened to what many Nigerians said before, that we need to appreciate these guys when they come. We celebrate them, send every possible person. So what happened, even when the minister could not be there, someone from the ministry was there. You could see Dibu. I think Dibu was there for all the batches that came around.
Yeah, he was always around.
Them. So sometimes beyond the money you are giving them, make them feel loved. And that's exactly what we are seeing. And interestingly, the more the batches were coming home, the more medals were winning. Yes, you can say we didn't win as much gold medal like we did the last time, but 4 gold medals, 1 silver and 5 bronze. I think if the able men that went for the first Olympic Games could have won this much, I'm sure they would have done much more. So good one for them, good welcome, good celebration. And again, hope the next step after now will kick off almost immediately. Yeah,
I think it's going to happen, Austin. I mean, let's listen to Ogunwa and the president, also the president of a Paralympics committee, Eruwa, talking about, you know, what they achieved in Tokyo and how they intend to do more.
Here we went to Kisarazu first. We trained there before we now went to the the Paralympic village proper. And the competition started like we knew immediately. Powerlifting started. We knew that our name will start coming up on the board, and it started coming up on the board. And the most exciting part of it again was that on the final day of competition, we still won medals. We won the gold and the bronze on the final day. So national anthem of Nigeria was played again on the final day. It was very great.
I feel great. I feel very, very excited. Very, very happy because along the line, our intention was to go there and reset the record we kept there 2016. But something along the line, it's just as if that the weather over there affected me a little bit, but to God be the glory that we came out in a flying color. The next thing is just for me to relax. You know, after competition, you have to relax. So after the relaxation, the work starts because we still have a World Championship in Japan, our Osaka in Japan. So come 2023, because of COVID, it's supposed to be this next year, but 2023. So I have to at least kickstart my training immediately after resting for a while.
Flora Ogunwa, the gold medalist. She won a gold medal in F54 javelin 2016 in Rio, and she came to Tokyo. She also had to do that. Austin, I mean, we've talked about these athletes and so many things that they've done, but then we have to listen to all the administrators and also talking about how they intend to actually help these athletes, not just having more competitions also, but then how they can even have more Paralympians taking part at major competitions for Nigeria.
You're spot on, Cecilia, and I think the ministry and the Sporting Federation should take it serious. I've been going through a program called Sports and Inclusion, and it's all about ways that we can make these special athletes feel more special, because if you check what they've been through with their condition and everything, and they still put themselves together to go compete at that level, and look at the way they competed. If we want to even compare now, I'm sure you know we cannot do that. They always go out there and they do their best. So some of the things that they've mentioned, the ministry, the Sporting Federation, the State Sports Council, even family members, the media, you and I, Cecilia, we need to do all we can to make sure that these persons feel loved, feel comfortable to represent their country, and then, keep that momentum going. I love it so much. I saw them dancing and I got emotional because that's what they live for. They just want to make, a happy ending to whatever condition that they found themselves. And my line for these people, confined to wheelchairs, yet unstoppable. Let's listen to Peter Nelson. He's the head of Nigeria's mission to the Paralympics. He's also reacting as regards our Nigeria's performance. But before we do that, enjoy the dancing steps from these athletes. Thank you.
We now realize that most countries do not longer push Paralympic Games by the side. We realize that even countries like Australia, China were able to start poaching for athletes. We have a lot of Chinese people playing for Australia, a lot of people from the Asia coming up in Europe to play. And we saw that, yes, there was a great difference as compared to when we were participating. So it's just a mere information to tell us that we have to go back home, work much, much harder than what we used to do. So this time around, I think I wouldn't want to let out the cat now, but I want to promise Nigerians that with the kind of honorable minister we have, Chief Sunday Dare, we are going to start what they call Festival for Young Paralympians that are willing to participate in this country.
So that's the chef de mission for Nigeria at the Paralympics, and everyone's saying the same thing, support and more support. And I'm sure, Bolu, that's what you are also having in mind, that we need to do more in terms of supporting these athletes so they can keep on giving us good representation.
Yeah, that's, if you listen to what Flora said, she talked about, I will rest for now. Then after rest, almost immediately she kicks off. It means there are many competitions in between that people don't even think about. Everybody just focus on every weekend is football alone. But believe me, many of those sports we don't focus so much attention on, both for the Paralympians and the able men. There are activities almost every week for these guys, but we focus so much on football alone. If we pay attention to these guys, Flora, if we didn't know before, Flora said it now, that after a short rest, another event starts from next month, and also we need to invest in these guys. And at the same time, look out for the next generation. Peter talking about, no, there are guys here in this country. We need to invest in this guy because many of our Paralympians are way over 40. It means latest, maybe from Paris, some of them will be hitting 50. We need to look for the next generation. So I think it's good. Investment is the key. You mentioned everyone needs to play their part. The federations need to sell the market well to investors. Sometimes investors will not come and meet until you go to them and sell your brand. The federations need to work. The media need to keep pushing. Any news about the para-athletes we see, let's push it out there. We see many of the other countries, they sell their market well, irrespective of what a Nigerian does. If one person from their country do one thing right, they sell that market. The media, everyone needs to work together. And I believe come Paris 2024, if we do the right things, hopefully we'll win even more medals from there.
Not just winning more medals, hopefully we'll get to have that dance, right?
Yeah.
Loretta Oye winning a bronze medal in the short put event, so her dance step is really remarkable. So let's listen to those who can actually effect those changes. Talking about the essay to the president, Daniel Amokachi, talking about what they intend to do to ensure that these athletes will keep on competing.
We all know when, before they depart, that they always come back with bags full of medals. And they went, they didn't disappoint, and they came back. And you can see the reaction, from all the immigrations and what we had from them, even from the plane. And you can see from the supporters club, I think everybody's very happy with their outcome. We know where competitions have been put into place so that new talents will be discovered, and then, where the challenge will come forth. I don't think they are, they lack competition. For you to go to a major championship like the Olympics and break the world record, which challenge you need again? It means you are already there. Yeah, we are discovering new talents, and by special grace, Nigeria is a country with abundance of talent. It's just for us, to give them the platform that's the way forward. And we all know that, what the federal government is initiating, that sports should be business. And with the Adopt an Athlete that came in, and you can see how a lot of Nigerians come to support what the athletes are doing and what the ministry is doing. So moving forward, I think the same plan that was put in place before they went to the Olympics will definitely continue to keep them preparing for all the major championships coming forward. If it wasn't the camp that was brought forward and the Honorable Minister approved that they were in camp and they worked very, very hard to perform, then definitely it won't be there. And we shouldn't forget that these athletes are getting older and older. The more they get older, the more new talents are being discovered, and there's a lot of plans. We're in all the 6 geographical zones in Nigeria, to select, the best athletes, in Nigeria. And you can see what happened in the World Youth Championship in Nairobi, Kenya. A lot of athletes have been discovered, and that's the way forward.
That's the way forward. It's as if Bolu actually, had a hint of what Daniel Amokachi was going to say when he talked about the fact that, look, we've got the talent here. So we're not going to go the way of Peter Nelson. We're sorry about that because he wants, okay, let's go abroad everywhere you have Nigerians and bring them to compete. But we've got the talent here, so we don't even need to go abroad or anywhere or to look for, as he said, okay, China competing for Australians or anything. We're not going to do that because we've got enough here. We can actually groom and then they can represent Nigeria and also win medals for the country. So no going out. We're going to be in-house and get the talent that we required. He admitted they're getting older, and of course, they need fresh athletes. I mean, you can have up to 50 or 60 contingents actually competing at the Paralympics, not 22. Yes, 22 went, and they came back with 10. Just imagine we can have up to 50 athletes, Austin, or maybe 60 or 70, and we can actually do that. So before the Commonwealth, before the World Championships, there's going to be the Commonwealth Games. So these are the competitions that they need to start grooming athletes. We know that, okay, Commonwealth Games, we have 2 or 3 fresh athletes that will join these athletes who went to Tokyo to represent the country.
Well, I think that's the best thing we can do, actually.
The proven fact is that Nigeria is blessed, so blessed with talent. And if you check what has happened with the competitions that we've featured in, from the Olympics to the World Youth Championship to the Afro-Basket, bring it to the Paralympics, it tells you that there's a big, huge prospect with sports in Nigeria. And I love the fact that Dan the Bull Amokachi has reminded us of the sports as a business policy that the ministry has been pushing. We need to get it into. We need to tap into opportunities, because when we start tapping into those opportunities, we invest in our athletes. And Bolu, let me bring you into this conversation. You know very well that with everything that we've seen, it's time to stop talking and get into action, right?
Yep, 100%. It's easy to come in front of the screen and just say one or two things. But again, if we don't have the right people in place, we would definitely suffer for it. For example, you can't put an engineer to come and construct a chair for you. You would have a construction of an engineer, not a construction or not a furniture. So that's one of the challenges I think we need to focus on. Friendship is good, but my friend cannot deliver. Friend, step aside, let the person do the right job, because at the end, it is the result we want. We need to start working now. Yes, Flora says she's going to rest. It doesn't mean those that are planning should go to rest. No. While they are resting is when we should start planning for the next step, because the guys abroad should want to come to Nigeria. Look at our D-Tigers, for example. The Ogumike sisters who want to represent. It means they want to come. Let the guys abroad see what's happening in Nigeria, and they decide to come. We listened to Tajuddin Agumbi that said the facilities they saw in Tokyo were far superior to what we have. We can align with the guys of this world in every sector, and I hope everything will just end after now. Oh, okay, Paralympics is done. We said what we want to say no, and I hope we can start moving on. We shouldn't be hearing about the Paralympians every 4 years. We want to be hearing about them every week, like we're hearing about the athletes, like we're hearing about the footballers, like we're hearing about now basketball is back, like we're hearing about. We want to be hearing about the Paralympians back to back, and come Paris 2024, we won't be thinking, who is this guy? No, we will confidently tell you, this is Bolu. I'm not going to Paris, but we can confidently tell you this is this and this is this. And who knows, Paris, we may even join, that's my hope, the top 10 medal tables, and it's very, very possible.
Okay. All right. Can we go to basketball now? Because
you mentioned the Commonwealth Games.
Yes.
That's one now. We should have a proper program. It's not far anymore. It's 2022. So we have this competition that we can actually use as benchmark to prepare. And it must be deliberate planning. I don't just know why we wait and bring in the fire brigade approach. Start planning right now. Do those things that these athletes, they are the ones who went to compete. Tajuddin Agumbi is a 2-time Olympic, medalist, went to Tokyo and met a different experience. Things are changing. So the technical committee in the ministry, in the sporting federation, this is not the time to fold your hands and say, oh, the competition is over. No, this is time to do more. It's time to grow, guys.
Okay. It's time for it. Let's quickly go on a short break. We'll be back and we'll talk basketball.
Daily news reports from different parts of the country. On News Across Nigeria, we highlight issues in your communities and keep tabs on the government promises of better healthcare, education, infrastructure, security, and other dividends of democracy. Watch News Across Nigeria live at 3 p.m. every day.
Time to talk basketball right here. And of course, we know it's back. I mean, yesterday it started and today, day 2. Let's just take a look at the result. Interesting ones, especially the one coming from Rivers Hoopers, how they were able to demolish the team they played against. These guys have been on fire. Let's take a look at all the results that went down today from the Atlantic Conference before we talk about the games for today that will actually get us talking now. Invaders and Kamak basketball, it was 71-60, and Rivers Hoopers and Coal City Miners from Enugu, 90-39. Yes, that's the scoreline. It's not a mistake. Nigerian Police and Ondo Raiders, they were so poor that Nigerian Police raided them 59-39. That's by as much as 20 points. And Kwara Falcons and Raptors to 66-55. That was the only result that was close. Every other one was really, there was a huge gap, as much as a 20-point difference and everything that also police team did to Ondo Raiders. Continue with the result. You have a City Chiefs 65-78. Defenders. That's talking about the Savannah Conference. Kano Pillars and Benue Braves, it was 89-42, and Reformers and Nigerian Customs 50-61. And the game between Nigerian Army and Gombe Bulls, it was Gombe Bulls winning 84-50. Now, that's the result from the Savannah Conference and also from the Atlantic Conference. Now, let's take a look at the game that got us talking, which is Rivers Hoopers and the Coal City Miners. Now, they came to Akure thinking, okay, yes, they lost, they've not played basketball for 3.5 years, the new team, but it doesn't really matter. Rivers Hoopers were just waiting in the wings to start the game. And of course, Benjamin Ikechukwu, remember he was with the Afrobasket team, he didn't really get much time. And Buchi Uwanwu, Emmanuel Balogun, both combining for 39 points. Like, these guys have been waiting. Ikechukwu scored as more than 18 points, including 4 3-pointers. One who added 11 points, Balogun contributed 10 points. I mean, as much as 19 points at halftime, that was when they were already leading. These guys were just waiting and ready to just, whoever is their next opponent, just devour them and get a good game.
Cecilia, I think Gombe Bulls, Kano Pillars, and Rivers Super should just be placed in the next round. Let's see what happens. Gombe Bulls won by 34 points. Kano Pillars won by 47 points. We thought that was the highest. Yes. Until we saw the one for Rivers Super is below. It's beyond blowout. If there's something after blow, maybe a blowout. How do you win by 51 points? That's massive. It shows, well, there are 2 players in their squad in the national team. I think the coach is still part of the national team. Of course. It shows their consistency from the Basketball Africa League to the national team and back. They've been preparing. But again, other guys have probably not done anything for a while. The fatigue, everything will show on their body. And that's why Rivers Supers will likely win that conference. And I like how they have to come up with this conference idea. Just play your side, play side, then we come together at the end and choose a winner. It's what we've been talking about. No matter how, just start the league. Start something. Money, no money, start something. Let the guys compete. And in a year or two, hopefully they'll gather their acts together. But you have to give kudos to River Supers. No, that result, 90 points. Then when you think 90, you should be thinking maybe 70 or 80 for opponents.
They made 11 3-pointers. Yeah. You know what? Let's listen to the man behind this. And he said that they did not play well. I was amazed. If they're playing well, maybe it should be like 120-39. Let's listen to Ogo Daudu, the coach of Rivers Supers, and also the coach of what? The Coal City Miners, Chigozie Nwoye, talking after the game.
It was a good game for us. We won. We will take the victory anytime. Even though we didn't play well, we didn't play to the level that we expected that we were going to play. But every game is a learning process, it's a practice session for us. So we are going to get better as the games progress. We have to be more intense. We have to pick up on our defense and not play too casual.
It's a tough match for us because Royal Hoopers, as you know, they are the champion of the country. And they've been together for a long time. So it's a very tough match. They played well because they have the team chemistry better than us. They have good players. We are just upcoming team from the coast city. So it's not easy for us, but we thank God for today.
Austin, I mean, you may have listened to the coach talking about the fact that they did not really play well. They had some lapses, 90 points, 11 three-pointers, and then that's the shot they made. And then you're saying, and from the free throw line, 9 out of 11. That's what they got. Now, looking at the statistics, looking at the results, and the coach is still saying, defensively, we can do better in our next game. Police Baton is next on Friday. I don't know what they're going to do to that team.
It's just so funny when coaches bring this mind games. Or if Coach Adaudu should say that again, we'll get FIBA to investigate his team. You know,
absolutely.
But that was some dominance by Rivers Hoopers, and you could tell Cecilia that even when we didn't have basketball going, Rivers State, they were still doing their bits to keep this team together. And then they went to the BAL, came back, looking forward to the league. And look, yes, some teams have match rustiness, but you cannot, compare, Rivers Hoopers to Coal City, no disrespect. And so, but it was a blowout result, and I expect the coach to come out and say, yeah, it was an easy one, but it is what it is. Let's say that's what I'm going to do against Police Baton.
That's the way it is. Now, let's take a look at the other game, of course, that will get us talking today. The Kamak and also Invaders from Ekiti. Now, the Invaders had to withstand this invasion that the Ekiti guys had. And talking about Kamak had to withstand, the Ekiti guys to pick up their first win. And then that result was also a remarkable one, 71-60. Yes, it was close, but then they still won by as much as 9 points. So, which you say was a good one, as much as 11 points, yeah. Which is a good one for Kama team picking up that win. Let's get reactions also from the players of both teams talking about this game on match day 2 of the Nigerian Basketball Premier League.
Today we had more cohesion and chemistry, and it was teamwork and defense. We were real physical on the defense, and our defensive balls, we got them today. Yesterday we quite didn't get our defensive rebounds. We were kind of loose, and the turnovers, we caught on them today. So I think that's what helped us. As the games go, we are getting better, and we're getting stronger, and we understand ourselves more. The team chemistry and intensity will pick up from our team.
It was a tough game, although we had some mistakes, but we tried our best. We fought hard, but we'll come back harder next time, I promise you. We tried our best, we moved, we caught, we shot our shots, but it was not just our game. We're going to get it next time.
Not just their game. Tried the shots, but then it just wasn't to be Austin. And of course, we've been enjoying lots and lots of basketball. And maybe day 3 will definitely give us more and more to talk about. But then what are the organizers of the league actually saying, Austin?
Yeah. It's a good one, Cecilia. I don't know how I feel about this. Maybe I should get Bolu talking since he's the guest. Bolu, how do you feel seeing basketball on TV again, league basketball in Nigeria?
Well, it feels good. Unlike before, the only thing, even the 2 lower divisions that have sponsor, we only hear sometimes a day or 2 after the event, oh, they played yesterday, okay. That's all. But now we can monitor on their social media page their games back to back. Everyone that follows basketball is excited. We've been waiting for this for almost 4 years. I remember, I think it was in January or late last year that the court agreed, okay, just start your league. Then they came up with no money. But the fact that the games are back, and you can see the excitement in the players' face, especially on match day 1. Even I listened to the sport minister, he was excited as well, talking about good to have basketball. Everyone who like Nigerian sports, you cannot like Nigerian sports and be happy the game is not going on, especially your first division. So it's good to have these guys back. And like I was saying, Cecilia off here, I like the way these guys are talking, both the coaches and the players. I wish IPFL coaches and players can learn from them how to speak post-match. You need to learn these things. These are basic things everyone must learn. So it's good to have our basketball back. Yes, it feels like they are rushing it. Let them rush them. The players are not complaining. They like the fact that they are playing game now. Now they are competing, not let's just play one friendly in 3 months. No, you have your games, you have your calendar, you have your schedule, and there's something you are fighting for to represent Nigeria at the next bout. So it's all good. Even though my money is definitely on Rural Supers, there may be Gombe Bulls and Kano Pillars. But aside winning, it's good everyone is competing at the right stage. So I'm excited for the basketball league.
Beautiful. I love it. So let's listen to the organizers of the Basketball League in Nigeria. What are they talking about? And when we come back, we also have words for them. We're right back.
The tournament has been interesting, and we have noticed that most of the players have been fatigued because of, long layoff from playing. But at the end of the day, we have discovered that we have so much talent in Nigeria, and we need to do more of this. The teams that we have expected to do well are doing well. Royal Hoopers, Kwara Falcons, they have done very well. The surprise teams now are Ondo Raiders and for Invaders. These are the teams that came up last year to the Premier League, and they're doing very well, surprisingly. But again, it's basketball. You cannot really count anybody out until, the end of the tournament.
It also feels good to see basketball back again. But Cecilia and Bolu, those little things that we talk about count. Yes, I know it's an abridged version, and we're hoping that things will get better. But infrastructure is very important, particularly when you know that there's a chance. Bolu has commended them for, they can speak good English, and want to thank God for this victory and for his grace that we see a lot of times in the other leagues. But Cecilia, Bolu, the markings in that game between Kamak and Invaders, did you see the court, the markings, the walls, those basic things that we can do for aesthetics? These are the things we should start doing for the development of sports in Nigeria. Okay,
let me quickly touch down on these facilities. Remember when the sports minister said they want to try as much as possible to build a court in every part of the country? Maybe this is going to help. We keep talking about the fact that we don't have a basketball arena. We want to have something that they have in Kigali. So these are ways they can actually develop the game. Just keep building that. But then what we need is actually not just the federation doing it alone, or maybe the ministry or the government. At least we want maybe people, corporate bodies can actually build courts that these guys can compete in. We've seen that in Lagos, right? We've seen a lot in Lagos. So they can actually come in and also help this league. And also put the money there. I mean, when the D-Tigers defeated USA and Argentina, you saw what happened. 100 million were running from everywhere. You can put this money into the league, and that will definitely help it. So,
Cecilia, little things. Bolu, look at the walls. You see, I know we do these things so horridly, and sometimes we just don't care. 20,000 naira, you paint those walls, they will look good because the media will come around. Look at the markings of the court. Little details.
The ceiling and everything, but it's good they are starting. Like you rightly said, they need some basic things actually. We know media will be there, but I'm just excited the games are going on. Hopefully we'll work on these things and not just push it with levity. Should be they are playing. No, I hope we can work on these things, and over the years, there's nothing stopping people living in America watching Nigerian basketball, but something has to attract them. Not this type of court.
Okay, all right. The good thing is that they're playing. So let's stay with the game and enjoy the game, and hopefully they can actually develop on this one. This is Akure, so it's not owned by NBBF. Lagos is actually a bit finer, but then they would have been able to do so, as Austin said. Just give it a facelift before you start the league. But they didn't do that. There's no sponsor, no money.
Cecilia, what I'm trying to say is, Cecilia, what I'm trying to say is, we always leave everything to either federation or the ministry. The State Sports Council, what are they doing? People that are there, you know that, for instance, Akure is on TV tonight. Make Akure look good. If you go put Ilorin on TV, make Ilorin look good. It's your state. That's cheap branding. Anyway, I know we're getting whatever. Let's move on. Let's talk about the international FIFA calendar as we get to everybody talking. The possibility of a 2-year World Cup has caused a lot of debate. We were supposed to have Super Eagles legend Emmanuel Amunike. He's in Doha. It's part of that consultative meeting with FIFA. Amunike just sent a message that he cannot be with us because they are still in a meeting. So hopefully we're going to have Emmanuel Amunike to understand. And Bolu, the part that concerns me is, how does this benefit Africa? We need to understand also.
Well, sometimes I think to myself, when some decisions are being made, are they thinking about themselves or thinking about everybody? Because this same FIFA body, they are trying to make AFCON 4 years. If you are telling us to turn AFCON to 4 years, then you want to bring the World Cup to 2 years, then it makes no sense absolutely. Because now there are too many competitions. There's FIFA Club World Cup, there's Champions League, there's Conference League. There are too many league games for club sides. They come to national team in Europe, they have the Euros, they have UEFA Nations League, they are qualifiers for everything. Now to bring World Cup, the truth is the players will start chances of having more injuries are there. Personally, I think it would even take the vibe away from the World Cup. The fact that if you miss one World Cup, when you think of 4 years, you will give your best to die on the court and give your best to win. But if it becomes 2 years, it will almost be the same thing as the UEFA Champions League. Just 2 years before you blink, 2 years, no. Personally, if I have a way to make the call for them, I'll tell them this is not going to work. Let's have our 4 years. That's the beauty. It's like bringing the Olympics every 2 years. No. That 4 years is beautiful the way it is.
Okay, but the good thing is that they're also going to seek the opinions of fans also. So maybe one of those opinions that will be seek. Because according to Arsene Wenger and Peter Schmeichel, these guys said the response they're getting is so positive. So obviously they want to go ahead with it. And FIFA President Gianni Infantino yesterday was talking about the fact that 88% of the people's opinion that they've actually sold. 88% are actually in favor of having every 2 years. You don't ask me, but let's take a listen to Arsene Wenger and Peter Schmeichel talking about their experience and how they actually want this to happen.
I think one of the things is to organize it better through the year. And the second thing is to organize better competitions. Let's not forget, I tell you, if we do not play, if we create room and we do not play big competitions, you will play small competitions. Don't think that you will not play, you know. And the target of the players and of football to improve all over the world is to play top-level competitions. After that, I'm not hesitant at all. I'm 100% convinced that what I propose is the right solution for the modern way to organize football. If people have better ideas, I'm open to it, and I'm welcome every idea that is better than mine. And secondly, I will not vote. I just make a proposal that I think will improve things and make life better for everybody, but especially make football better, you know. And that is my main target. It's not guided by anything else. And then I'm on a trip to convince people. What we do today is part of it. But as well, I will respect football's decision. Overall, I think I have got a very positive response. But this decision is a democratic decision and will be made certainly by the 211 countries who are affiliated to FIFA. I think that we continue to consult people, and that's an ongoing process that will happen until December. After that, it's down to all the federations to decide what will happen.
I'm very, very positive about the prospect of having a World Cup every 2 years. I come from a small country, 5 million people. And you know, we haven't got any guarantees of qualifying in a tough environment in Europe for the World Cups that at the moment are every 4 years. I played for my national team for 14 years, but only managed to qualify for one World Cup. And I would certainly jump at the chance of having the opportunity to qualify every 2 years. And
you heard what Schmeichel said, and Arsene Wenger is a first response to international calendar. He talked about the fact that, look, if maybe, I'm just trying to infer it now, if maybe you don't have the World Cup every 2 years, and then they're able to clear the international calendar because you have so many insignificant games that these players are playing, they will have to play football, and then they'll have to play lesser competitions. So it's more like, Bolu, if you listen to him, what he had to say, if you listen carefully to what he says, he's inferring, is the fact that, fine, you don't want, maybe some people kick against having it because we know Seferin has kicked against it, Spanish Football Federation president also kicking against it. He doesn't want that to happen. And then you're not having this whole situation. Now, if the World Cup is not every 4 years and the international calendar, they said they want to mend or maybe rearrange, maybe they're going to remove some competitions, maybe the UEFA Nations League or the Conference League. I don't know if they have the power to do so. And then you have opportunity to actually put in the World Cup. And if the World Cup is not agreed on and they change the international calendar, so it simply means players will still have to play football. And then it may not be as big as the World Cup, insignificant tournaments or lesser competitions.
Let's look at this young boy, for example, Pedri. Pedri played about 70-something games because he had Euros and the Olympic Games. That is an 18-year-old boy. Then imagine there's a World Cup. You can't be against the UEFA Nation Super League and want to bring the World Cup to 2 years. Everything is about playing more than enough games, because if there are World Cup games every 2 years, it means instead of planning for qualifiers for 4 years, you have to shrink the qualifiers. The truth is, there may be different opinions on why it should be better for 2 years, but what happens to, like you rightly said, it means they have to find a way to cut off the Nations League. Seferin Point is definitely against it. I don't think UEFA will support this. Africa, it will definitely affect AFCON as well. So I don't know if Africa will support, but maybe Asia that do the Asia Games in 4 years may be in support. Maybe other continents may be in support. They have to weigh this round. They have to look out for those federations. What do they agree with? But Ibolo have to make a call. I would like to know who the people they are speaking with that give them 80% of yes, let's go ahead. I don't think they have objective. I think it's just a fabricated number. But personally, I don't think World Cup every 2 years, it will kill the vibe of the World Cup. There's a reason why people will tell you the World Cup final is bigger than the Champions League final. It's because of the euphoria, the timing, the fact that if you miss it this time, it's 4 years before I have to enjoy this again. But let's see what happens if they end up deciding to. We have no choice. We have to watch. We have to watch. We have to follow. And if Nigeria qualify every 2 years, we have to support the nation.
Okay, I have to leave now. It's goodbye from me in Lagos.
That's the show in London. Must know Konakwan and everything you do. Remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.